Hello, and here again I'm going to work through a learning model that I've produced fairly recently that reflects my own practice and what I've been doing by way of supporting individuals, particularly in the last 38 years. It is the DRIP model of learning. So there you go, straightforward enough. Difficulty, relevance, impact, and persistence. And all I'm going to do now is to work through those very briefly. I don't have much time. I try and keep these tight, and just kick out some key issues in here. So difficulty. For me, the most worthwhile learning, the most likely to be used learning, which is after all what we should be about, is difficult learning. And there's an irony here. The more difficult the learning, the harder it is to gain value from that learning, the less likely we can get people to engage in that process. People, I think, all the more these days are looking for low-hanging fruit in learning terms. They're looking for learning which is easy. They're looking for learning they don't have to put a lot of effort into, or they don't have time. Let's be honest, they don't have time amidst other things to put into working through difficult learning and the benefits that brings. The more difficult the process, the more likely real benefit will occur. Relevance. Relevance is self-perceived. I don't think we in the learning industry think often enough about the relevance to the learner we're working with, and I mean singular learner. Whether we're working with people one-to-one or whether we're working with groups, everyone's an individual. So within that group of one is best for me, people will pick out what they think is relevant. And I don't think we tune into that enough. Whilst we're working with people, they're saying to themselves, does this mean something to me? Can I use this? Is this worthwhile? Can this be something which changes for the better how I go about doing my job? So I think we need to think more and more about the relevance to an individual of what we do. Impact. Impact is important. Impact is all about that person saying to themselves, when am I going to see a return from this? When am I going to get some value from working on this? Is this time I'm spending learning this thing, whatever it turns out to be, going to change the work I do for the better, make me look better in what I do? Impact is something that people are looking for sooner and sooner and with higher and higher value than they did before. Persistence. Let's think about that. Learning isn't as easy as many of us would like to think. We don't know all the circumstances and context of the people we work with. So particularly if we're working at a level of relative difficulty with people, and I encourage that appropriately, not for its own sake, but because that's where the true high value learning lies, then we must understand that that requires persistence. Persistence is not easy. Time is not easy to be found to work on something. It requires support, guidance, encouragement. And that's something, again, which is hard to find. I'd give all the time and encouragement I can to the people I work with, over and above what they pay me for, let's be honest about that. And that could be something we've got to do more and more of. To help people through the persistence issue, we've got to help them find the energy that very often, in the midst of everything else, they find difficult these days. So, picks up board again. That was a very brief overview, gets into shot just, of the DRIP model. Yeah, I got there. So that's the DRIP model. I hope you find it useful. All the best for now.